Hey, I'm Denny Grimes, and welcome to Mastery. Today is already April 18th, and we're going to dig right into it. And a couple things. This being the 18th, what we practice here is question-based listening enhanced conversations. And I can tell you, after spending 4 years doing this and doing recon, I've got dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of hours of role play with you guys. I'm a better agent now than I was when I started, and I can tell you why. I have worked on the art of listening. I have found my conversations are so much easier if I look for crumbs they drop. A number of weeks ago, I talked about, like, for example, today or yesterday was National blah 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 day. We talk about what's special about any day. This particular day, a few weeks ago, was National Croissant Day. And I said, what does the croissant have to do with recon or our mastery calls or having conversations? One is croissants are flaky. Does anyone ever have someone, maybe a buyer or seller, that you could define between me and you, and the chicken's flaky? The other thing, here's the advantage of them being flaky, is that like a croissant, they will leave crumbs. And what we work on here in Mastery, buyers and sellers will leave crumbs too. And the crumbs I'm talking about is certain key words. We work on our tone, we work on our listening. And what's interesting, as soon as we pick up one of those crumbs, now we're driving on their highway and we're not driving on ours anymore. Does that make sense? So you guys, we have some free stuff. I trust. We've had some problems with this working. I'll get out of the way, take a screenshot of that. I used a lot of different slides, some of the #1 bull ride conversations that you can find on the internet as far as making outbound calls. A lot of the slides that I use here, Louise many times puts the link in the chat. So feel free. This is all free. Go grab that. And if it doesn't work, just let me know. And I'd love for you to join the YouTube. We've crossed the 1,000 mark and we're building. And we have 400 videos on that, some shorts, some reels. And again, it gives you some good, actually it cures insomnia too, for those nights you can't sleep. One more thing that I've never offered before, and I'm just going to see if I can do it now, right now, for what it's worth. I'm going to test market. I've had some people ask me if you would like to have some coaching, conversational coaching with me. I'm putting together a product. I'm going to try it. It's no long-term contract, just 1 month at a time. We can get several people together and it becomes very affordable. However, if you would like to be in a small group of maybe 4 people or so and have a month of coaching, email me and you can have it individually or you can have it with a group. And I'm just going to try it out and see if it works because I've had a number of people ask. Here's my thought of the day, guys. You know me with the croissant. Oh, before I do that, Louise, why don't you tell them what they need to be doing so they can do that in the meantime, and I'll give you my point or thought of the day.
Okay. Hey, Denny, are we only at the table today?
Or
is it open? Phone and table.
You know, let's just stay at the table because that's kind of my strength.
All right. One of your many strengths. So agents will be at the table. We'll ask you to put in the chat your scenario, who you're at the table with, what is the objection, and what is the level of difficulty you would like to encounter. We have a post from Sherry Baracquio, but I don't know that it's actually her. I've seen that name a lot, where someone wrote ideas. Her client wants to cancel a listing and update kitchen and baths. Who is this that posted that message?
You can put that in the chat while you're getting that straightened out. Let me just give you my thought of the day and we'll get rolling. This past week I did a class online for another MAPS coach for Keller Williams that I got posted on the Facebook page and on the Bold Facebook page. And I came up with the concept of we're always talking about sellers leaving money on the table. Well, I have a class I'm teaching now, and it's entitled Agents Quit Leaving Money on the Table. And so, first of all, you can't leave money at the table or on the table unless you make it to the table. If you're not talking to people, you probably won't get to the table. So that's another skill. However, where I specialize, and if Matt pops on, maybe we'll do some calls. He's really good at getting to the table via phone call. I built my business at the table. And what I want to talk about is stop taking listings that you shouldn't take. All right, that's number one. Number two, stop not taking listings that you should take. And number three, I forget. I'll think of it. So, and here, oh, here it is. Stop listing properties and start listing property owners. There's no such thing as a bad listing. They're just ornery and unrealistic property owners. Amen to that, you guys? We can sell a double wide in Afghanistan. It does not matter. However, if the owners are kind of cantankerous, that may be an issue. So here's my analogy of the day. Who knows what that is? Everybody knows what that is. You probably have had one or know someone who did. You might have even messed with it a little bit. Raise your hand, please. I want to see if you ever completed that puzzle.
Once.
Wow. Well, and you can speak out loud or put it in the chat if you like. They have national competitions for people that do the Rubik's Cube. Does anyone want to take a wild guess you can't Google it, what the world record is on completing at random at a competition of Rubik's Cube? Anyone want to take a guess?
15 seconds.
15 seconds. That's like a bull ride.
4 seconds.
12. What else?
This one. 6 seconds.
Oh, look at that. Scott, 3 seconds. Eva, 2 seconds. It's actually 3.09 or some crazy thing like that. 3.09 seconds. Now, here's the thing that I want you to think about. I watched it, and you go to YouTube and you can find it. And they're having this competition. So a guy's sitting there, and there's kind of a, like a handkerchief or a napkin that's over the Rubik's Cube, so he can't look at it and study it. So he has not seen the Rubik's Cube yet. How does that tie in with us when we go and meet with a client at the table? Aren't they like the Rubik's Cube? I mean, there's going to be a series of moves we have to make, and we have to evaluate where they are. That's why conversational listening is a great skill, because people ask all the time, Louise, hey, send me your scripts. Well, we give you the hacks, but there's no one way to fix the Rubik's Cube, and there's no one way to fix, to understand what the clients are going through. The other thing is this. So anyway, when they're at the competition, they take away the handkerchief and they give the contestant, he can pick it up and he can look at it a little bit. I don't know if there's a time limit on there, maybe 5 or 6 seconds. He sets it down, starts the clock, 3 seconds, it's done. Now, I thought, well, how do they do that? Do you think they practice? Absolutely. I mean, you need a lot of dexterity. But here's the thing, when you look at it, they have the hacks online, what to look for. There are patterns in the Rubik's Cube. For example, did you know you start with a white one in the middle, the white one in the middle is a yellow one on the other side, and it's always in the middle. And what you do is you work to get the white one sent to a cross first, and then etc. So I'm not going to talk about the Rubik's Cube anymore. What are you hearing about how we can use that process when we meet with a buyer or seller? You see the parallel.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
there's patterns. Yeah.
Patterns. I love the word. There are patterns. And that's what we work on here is patterns. Once you recognize the pattern and you practice, you become great at it. Now, what's the last point on the Rubik's Cube? I did look up that these people can make up to $1,000 in if they win the Rubik's Cube contest. Not bad, right? And how many hours do you think they had to practice to do that? Like major league. What would be our earning potential if we worked and practiced at our skill of real estate conversations as much as they did on the Rubik's Cube? How many people think it might be higher than $1,000 per contest? So I'm preaching to the choir. So the more you practice, the more you're going to be able to recognize patterns. And that's what we're going to work on today. So enough of that. That's my thought of the day. Louise, we're ready to get cracking.
Let's go. Debbie's up. Debbie's at the table with a for sale by owner who would like to wait. It's a medium level of difficulty.
Okay, well, I can start off, Debbie. We're at the table and go.
Okay, after everything we've discussed today, are you ready to move forward?
No, I'm not really ready to move forward. I mean, thank you for the presentation. It was very nice and thorough, but I think we're going to wait.
Okay, so what is the importance of you waiting? What's
Well, I
the
don't
benefit
think
to you? Yeah,
What?
what's the benefit to you to wait?
All right, now I'm gonna, because it's mastery, I'm gonna ask you. You just asked me 2 questions. Now I'm really confused,
Sorry.
right? So
Yep.
one question at a time. Go back. One question. It's like a text. Don't send 2 texts. So Debbie, what question do you want me to ask? You want to
Right,
ask?
so what's the importance of waiting a month for you?
I think, the market right now is going down here where you are. There's more homes on the market. So I don't think now is really a good time. Everyone's kind of worried about this tariff thing. The stock market's kind of in a crapper. So really not a good time to sell.
Okay, well, I understand your feelings, although with tariffs and everything else, that's really kind of speculation right now. We really don't know for sure where we're going to be in a month. I'm guessing whether we wait a week, a month, or 3 months, your goal is probably going to be the same to net the most amount of money possible, correct?
Now, that was a big, long, fat statement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you start telling you guys you are selling, you don't need to do that. So I know we're just parachuting into a conversation, but did you recognize the fact, first of all, she was kind of like a counter, didn't really agree with me, or actually she kind of made my point. Well, we don't know what's going to happen. That's exactly why I'm waiting, right? So how could you take me there with a question, Deb?
Okay, so how soon do you need to be in your new place?
So Louise, you're dying to say something probably because this is one thing you catch all the time. So what's the feedback you're going to give her on her beginning of the role play?
I would like to reference the objection model that's in the chat. Acknowledge, isolate,
Okay.
Yeah.
address, and close. Because my thought is, Debbie, once he answers that question that you have, he could pop up with another objection and another objection and another objection.
Yes, so I'll have it's in the chat. I probably have it here behind me. If you can see that, if you can pin me, there is the model. So when I say going back to the beginning, I think I'm going to want to wait. What is your isolation statement, Debbie?
Okay, so other than waiting, are we ready to move forward today? Is there anything else that's preventing you from us moving forward?
That's better. That's better. Well, no, really waiting. No, that's really my main concern.
Okay. I'm just trying to think.
All right, here's the baseball diamond.
Okay.
What's next? Well, you could still be on first base. I'm saying waiting. Right.
Yes.
And I told her why that I wanted to wait. So do you need more clarification? Could you drill down a little bit on what I mean by waiting?
What is waiting going to do for you ultimately?
Can I ask you this question, Debbie, to help you ask Denny a question? Is he asking you to wait an hour, a week, a month, a year?
Was that long?
Okay. So how long are you wanting to wait?
Well, I don't know how long it's going to take for the economy to kind of settle down and everyone to feel good about, where we're going economically.
Right. Right. I understand, but if we could just meet and I could show you.
Whoa. We're at the table. We're at the table.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why I'm stuck.
Well, okay, so anyone want to take over? Probably what we want to go to second base. So again, I
Denny,
want to,
excuse me, is it possible to just very quickly go over what that baseball diamond means again? Because I know
Sure,
you
can you-
keep bringing it up, but I forget.
can you see it okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, so the first step is you isolate, other than that, and get clarity. I mean, how long do you want to wait, etc. I want to sell in the spring, or what's spring, right? So you get that. Motivation is I get, okay, so motivation, why are you selling in the first place? You have to have an understanding of why they're doing it. Because you can't go to third base, which is pain. Pain, another synonym for pain, is the other side of the coin, until you understand why. So Natalie, ask me a motivating question. Ask me something about my motivation.
So what got you thinking of putting it on the market in the first place?
Well, we're thinking about moving closer to family, to Sandusky.
Okay. And how soon you want to be there?
Mhm.
Well, I'd like to be there, before fall, if possible. Our grandson's going to be starting school, and that'd be kind of cool to take him to school every day.
And so then you go to Paine?
Well,
Or-
you could, if real life, you'd talk probably a little bit more about that. There could be other
Sure,
reasons.
sure.
Ideally, when would you like to be there? I just answered that. What else could you ask?
I guess what would that do for your family if you are there by the fall?
Okay, so this is one of the things we've been working on this past week that Matt helped us out. Matt does a lot of recon with us. Is okay, quit, take off your real estate hat and become a person. I just said it'd be kind of cool to be there when my grandson starts school, so I could take him to school. Would you not want to hover there a little bit and get into that emotion?
Sure.
So in
That
order to connect emotionally, you're gonna have to quit being the salesperson, and you're gonna have to be human. What would be, now again, get empathetic a minute, what might you say to that?
Well, that's very important. Like
Denny, it
It's
sounds
your-
like you and your grandson are very close.
yes, something like that.
Okay, all right, somebody else, David, anybody, Scott, Al, Bubba, what's another question? Because you know what, I'm probably going to want to talk about my grandson, because yes, it seems like we're pretty close. I got kind of excited about taking him to school.
Who's going to
This
be
is your
more
first.
excited about who's going to be more excited, you or him? Like paint the picture of like the first day in the photograph. First day of school in the photograph.
Got it?
Danny,
mean, would
tell
you-
me more about you moving close to your grandson. What are your plans?
So let me just, so I'm going to go to you, Natalie. So what grade is your grandson going to be in?
Oh, it's got to be in first grade.
Okay, and so, wow, are you going to be, are you going to be taking him to school every day?
I am planning to.
All
That's
right,
what I'm moving for.
all right, so now you got an emotional connection. I want to wait. Remember, I don't want to move. And you know why? I don't want to move because I don't think the economy's right. However, now you know why I want to move. What's third base? Third base pain, and sometimes that's not the right way to really say it. It's what is the other side of the coin? Somebody else, tell me, what is the pain?
Kids grow up fast, and do you really want to miss these years? You can't get them back.
Well, I don't think it's going to be like 5 years before the market turns around.
Okay, then we should get your house on the market now, so we can get it sold and you can get over there.
Do you sound like an agent or a human now?
Agent?
Yes. Y'all recognizing that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So try it again, Scott.
Well, Denny, they grow up fast. and you want to be there for all of it, like I would be, like I want to be there for my granddaughter. How are we going to get you down there?
No, how are we gonna get you down there is still another.
Another
issue.
sales thing.
Okay, here, let me help you out. Maybe it's something like this. Okay, well, all right. When do you think, Scott, you're not the seller, so he's starting first grade, and when does school start? August, so you really want to be there by August, right?
Yeah.
What if the market doesn't change from where it is now, or your feelings about the market are no different by the time August 1st rolls around, and your house isn't on the market yet, you still haven't listed it? What are you going to do next?
I'll probably list it then,
Why?
so I can get down there by Christmas.
So you're willing to miss his very first day of school? We're taking him to school. Notice I'm not talking about getting the house listed.
Right.
Mm.
Talking about letting him be the first person in his life to take his grandson to school. Y'all getting that?
Mhm.
I mean, I'm shedding a tear right now.
Yeah.
So
feel
what
the
if the market doesn't change? Okay, all right. So now I've planted that seed. Here's another avenue. So when you get to Sandusky, what are you going to be doing? Are you going to be purchasing a home there, Scott?
Yeah, we'll get a townhouse.
Do you own it yet, or you're going to buy one?
No, but we have our eye on a couple different developments.
Ah, nice. And so are you need to sell this in order to buy it in Sandusky?
I'd like to take the money, and I'd rather not take it out of my my 401k. So yeah, we'll use the proceeds of the house.
Now you'll see where I'm going here. Here's the other side of the coin. So let me ask you, if you think the market is be more, you're hoping the market will be more in favor of you selling, let's say in July, will it be more in favor of you buying in July?
Well, I guess sell high, buy high, right?
Yeah. So realistically, it seems to be a push, right? So is that really a big issue as far as the market changing?
I guess it's a horse apiece.
And the last question I'd say is, and say, well, okay, well, there could be a buyer out there that would give you exactly what you want right now, that could get you moved in time for the first day of school. And we'll never know. You'll never know if you're going to catch that fish unless you throw a hook in the water. So isn't it worth a try to see if we can get you moved on time and take advantage of the market here so you can take advantage of the market there? So that's where I would go. So somebody tell me what you heard or learned in that short little role play.
So just to clarify, you on that diamond shape, you isolate and clarify what the objection is first, right? But you don't address it until you have addressed motivation and pain. And then you go back to address the objection?
Well, yeah, you imagine the first phase is to isolate and clarify. That's the objection.
But you
Okay.
don't address it.
That's the patient. The motivation is why they're at the doctor's office anyway, because what hurts? You need to find out why they're there. And then the pain is, well, what if you don't take care of that pain? What is it going to do? You see, you can't go to pain unless you know where it hurts. Sorry for all the metaphors, but that's just the way my brain works.
So you need to have a lot of conversation, a lot of questions to get to the pain.
Well, what does a doctor do when you go in?
Me, I think it's an emotional connection.
Say it again, Kathy.
I believe it's an emotional connection.
Well, I can tell you that's right. When you can see what's interesting, going back to watching the video and the guy with the Rubik's Cube, he's just got it He just looks for a couple little squares and he understands where the pattern is. And then when you don't have to think about what you're saying, you can think about what you're feeling.
Right.
That's where the mirroring and matching comes in. And listen, I'm a D and my wife's a D. We have a little joke in our family that, you know, we didn't even let our kids win at Candyland. No way. I'm going to beat your butt. I don't care if you're 3. So we have to find that gear. It's not always easy. So Bubba, you can't say anything. Okay. All right, Louis.
Here's a thought. People don't care about what you know until they know that you care.
That's so
Yeah.
true. Mhm.
So-
Okay, next.
So
Go ahead.
that baseball diamond is in the free stuff, Madeline.
Okay, I just
So-
wanted clarity on not addressing the objection until you've talked about motivation and pain first. Right?
Yes. If you try to go to pain without knowing motivation clearly, that's the same as the doctor saying, I know something hurts, don't tell me, let me start cutting, sooner or later I'll find it.
And they probably don't want to hear, you know, why now is a good time if you haven't reminded them of why they're selling.
Yes, and you know
Yeah,
what?
okay.
You'll always have to go back to that. For example, or let's just really fast forward to the Scott there, who was a seller, needs to get to Sandusky, and well, all right. So we got his listing on the market. Now an offer comes in. Anyone had an offer that was sellers was less than impressed with, and you know you go back and forth, and you're still $5,000 apart. How do you bridge that? You've got to go back. Okay, we're $5,000 away from taking your grandson to school.
Mhm.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yep. All right, next.
Next is Jesse at the table with the for sale by owner who is negotiating for a lower fee, and it's a hard one.
All right, Louise, why don't you give me a break?
Okay.
Hi, Louis. Since we just went over everything, are you ready to sign the contract and put me to work?
Jesse, yes, if you will reduce the fee by 1%.
Okay,
Actually, I'm not going to say by how much. I'm just going to say if you will reduce the fee.
okay. So you want me to reduce the fee. Is there any other reason you wouldn't hire me today other than that?
No.
No?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So I just want to clarify, Louise, when you say reducing the fee, do you mean the total fee for my side of the transaction and the buyer's agent side, or just what you're paying my office for my
Right.
service?
I don't care which side. I just want
Hang on, just a second, though, Louise. Jesse, that was a very complicated way to ask that question.
Okay.
Just ask make it simple. If you have to go on that long on a question, they're going to have a hard time understanding. So
Mhm.
ask it again.
So do you mean the whole fee or just my fee?
the total fee is X, and I would like to reduce it. I don't want to pay out the whole X.
Okay. So the whole fee. Why is that important for you to have a lower fee?
May I ask you, outside of the role play, would you like to seek clarification and find out what I have in mind for how much I would like to reduce it by?
How much would you like to reduce it by, Louise?
Just a quarter of a point.
Okay, quarter of a point. So what we've talked about is my fee is 3% on my side. Are you good with that?
Your side and the other side total an amount. I want to pay 1/4% less than that total amount.
Okay.
I don't care how you work it out in the back.
Absolutely.
This is
Okay.
what I want to pay up front.
Well, if we are able to reduce it by a quarter of a point, are you willing to move forward today?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the fee on my side that goes to my office, that's 3 apples. So what we're really talking about is the fee that goes to the buyer's agent subcontractor. May I share with you are you in agreement with that part? I guess you've said
Well, I guess how you split it is up to you.
Okay. So on my side of the transaction is 3 apples. So may I share with you what?
Jesse, I think you're done.
Okay.
No, I mean, what do you have to explain?
I was gonna go into if they, what may happen if we offer less.
Well, okay, I mean, they're offering all right, so good. Here's my take on that, you guys. If the no set fee, and I know we kind of trip over ourselves, so I'm just going to assume you want 3, and let's say that your normal co-broke's 3 or 2.5, doesn't matter. To go down 1/4 point from that, would that make any difference in the world of co-brokeville?
No.
So my question, why would you want to go and have that conversation and complicate the whole thing?
I wouldn't. I guess just for role play, I was thinking I should.
That's why
Yeah.
I made it so small. I didn't go big. Made it
Yeah, y'all get that, right? Sometimes less is best. Now, if the seller said, okay, well, I don't want to pay anything, or I only want to pay 1/4 point. Jesse did a great thing there. I mean, knuckle bump, you got the agreement on his. He's got 3. Okay, so you want to set aside from a seller incentive. Again, it's not a seller fee, it's a seller incentive. Notice I don't even call it a buyer incentive. Louise will have this. This is a slide you get with the free stuff, is that you might want to have a conversation and go through the 4 things that can happen next if you wanted to do that. But you had the listing, you got your side, and you got most of the co-broke for the conversation. So I would stop right there, Jess.
Okay. Awesome.
and you did very well. I would recommend speak with more confidence. Your words are good. I feel like the tonality behind them isn't as strong. And then when you talked about each side, the list side versus the buy side, I heard the word my, and this is just my personal preference. I don't know what other people's take is, but if I said to you, Jesse, my fee versus our fee, or the listing broker fee, I think it just sounds, I think it's more receptive when it's not my, and it's a collective.
Okay. So it's not about me in that case. It's more about them and what we're doing together. And I'm just really nervous on these calls. I don't know why, but
because you haven't practiced more than you practice, and the more you practice, the less nervous
Yeah.
you'll be.
All
so
right,
this one,
who's up next?
Okay, next is Christine. Christine is at the table with a seller who wants to cancel the listing and remodel the kitchen and baths.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to cancel. So basically, you want to cancel the listing and remodel the rooms.
Yeah, we're not getting the action we need, and I mean, I don't want to lower my price, so and the 2 showings you've had over the last 6 months, both of them said it needs updating. So I thought I'd take it off, and we'll update it and put it back on the market, in a couple months.
Well, we're not getting action because we're not in the right. I had showed you the data where the other homes have been sold in a different range in the market.
So Christine, we're going to coach
Yeah.
on this. So can that be in the form of a question?
Okay. So did you see the data that I had emailed you about the other homes that have sold in your area with similar style home?
Yes, I see they had different listing agents. That's what caught my mind.
Okay. Did you see that the price, what they sold at, the numbers that they sold at?
Yes.
Okay. And then also the condition of the homes were updated. I'm sure you saw that, right?
Yes, but they did not have they didn't have the birdhouse that I do.
Right, right. Well, even at the price that we're at now, they're selling even at the number that we're at now, they're selling at numbers lower, even though the homes are updated. So I suggest we pick a range that has sold, because after all, if we don't, throw out a line in the water, we're never going to be able to catch any other buyers. at a new
And
Right.
that,
price
I
range.
that I want to help you out. I want to take it off the market and do some updates to it.
So even with the updates, I understand, you want to do the updates and get a higher price and things like that, which I want to get the best price for you. But even with the updates, the data that I had sent you, it shows that the maximum number people are willing to pay in the market right now is this 500 number, not the 600 number.
Yeah, but are you saying there's a zero chance that I can get higher than 500?
I'm not saying there's zero chance because, anything can happen. I'm just saying if you put yourself in a better position in the market, based on what has sold closer to those numbers, maybe we can catch, buyers that are looking in those ranges that have sold.
Maybe it's a marketing issue. Maybe we should try scrambling.
Marketing issue.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Who's on the offense?
I don't know if anybody can help me out here. I don't know.
Christine, do you know that the marketing is working because you've shown him the
Yeah.
responses online?
Okay. Well, I know the marketing is working because we've had about 6 showings and we've had no offers. So people are seeing the home, but they're not, willing to make an offer at where we're at now.
I got it. So I think fixing the house up is what I want to do. And, I've, already contacted a contractor. I know how much it costs to sponge paint my garage floor. So I'm going to get all that done and put it back on the market.
Okay, even when we do put it back on the market, if you go with that same number, the lenders are going to go back to what has sold in the past.
So now you're making.
So we're still going to have a discrepancy.
Oh, let's reverse it, Christine. Okay, let's reverse it.
Okay.
Did you have this happen? You requested this. Have you had this happen?
It's going on right now.
All right. Can you be
My
that seller?
seller.
Can you be that seller and role play with me?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna. So I have another house. I'm just gonna move into this house and fix it up, and then I'll sell it.
Okay. All right. And so
I want my price.
So let me just fill in some blanks. How long has it been on the market?
To about a month. It was on in December and then off in the private listing in Illinois where nobody sees it except agents, which is fine because there's no market time. We did have a couple of people view it during that time. They said it needs a lot of updating. And then we put it back March 10th.
What's
and
the price?
One person.
Hang on, I don't need the details. What's the price of it?
$625.
All right. And who came up with that number?
He did.
Okay. And did you go over the 3 outcomes that I have behind me? Are you using that sheet?
Yes.
Okay. And when I say, are you using it? Did you use it when you took the listing, and do you use it every time you follow up with them?
Not when I took the listing, but when we relisted it, I went through that, made it active in the public market. I went through that and I showed them the data to support that. If we don't get any showings, these are the numbers that you should be thinking about.
Okay. So again, you guys, Louise probably has it in the chat. There's a QR code. This is the best listing form there is on the planet. You should do it when you list. There's a place down here for them to initial. And then you should also, every time you have your follow-up with them, send them a copy of that, because sellers have amnesia, and always stress if there's only 3 outcomes, and this seller is not at outcome 3. So I'm going to take a minute and a half. Here I'm going to go. This is how I handle it. All right. So why do you think it did not sell over the last 30 days, Christine?
I think it is not range looking for.
Say that again. You broke up.
I think it is not in the range that people are looking for.
Well, you're at 625.
When you break the 600 number, I think there's more people based on the sales. There's more people looking up to 600, not over 600.
Are you the agent now or the seller?
I'm the agent.
I'm talking to you as a seller.
Oh, the seller? Okay, sorry. What was the question?
Why didn't it sell? Why do you think it didn't sell?
Well, I think it didn't sell because it needs the updating. That's what the agent keeps telling me.
Okay.
So that's what I should do.
And have you decided on what updates you're gonna do?
Yes, I'm gonna do the kitchen and both bathrooms.
Okay. And do you have an estimate of how much that is gonna cost you?
No.
A ballpark.
40,000.
Okay. So my question is, will you invest 40 to get 20 back?
No,
Why?
doesn't make sense.
Were you
Um,
Yeah, okay, so I'm trying to speed it up a little bit. So, and you guys, this is a good thing to know. Do you know there's a report that they publish a couple of times a year, and they have it broken out in sections of the United States called the cost value report. It's a report put together by the National Association of Home Builders and the National Association of Realtors. And you know what that report says, Christine?
what?
It breaks down all the major home improvements, from kitchens to baths to new front doors, new garage doors, any type, new bird bath, any type of improvement you'd want to make in your home, what it costs, and then basically what it will return on the sale of the home.
Mm-hmm.
So this is helpful for people for a seller thinking, well, I want to update my home. Okay, so for example, and I can send you an exact copy of it, but I can tell you there's like only one thing that you can do as a homeowner that the cost of the improvement would actually raise your sales price. And it's something stupid like a front door or screen door, or a minor thing. So it will clearly outline the fact that if you invest $40,000, you're only going to get $20,000 pop for it.
Okay, thank you.
What do you mean, thank you? I'm not done with you yet.
Oh.
So do you think it makes sense to do that?
Not spend 40 and only get 20. No.
You know what else I've seen? I've seen sellers do the same thing, and they put their 40, they want to go ahead anyway, and they put their $20,000 or $40,000 into it. And the buyer comes in and says, oh, I don't know why they did that. I wouldn't have done that. I'm going to rip it all out. In fact, the improvements don't help you. The improvements hurt you.
Okay.
Would you like to know a better way?
Yes.
You could actually sell this at top market value and not have to worry about the risk, not have to worry about going through the construction and the dust, the mud, the blood, and the beer. And all we have to do, because we're an outcome two, and we're an outcome two because the market's saying no, we're the bridesmaid, not the bride. The best thing for us to do is reposition, and you won't have to go through the risk of all those improvements. Do you think that would be a safer move? So anyway, you see where I'm going.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Everything was a question. And I want you guys to write down, you can Google cost value report. And I can tell you and you can get a copy for the Northeast, South, West, etc. And has anyone ever seen that report before?
No, I don't think so.
Look at it, because
No,
Unless-
no, I haven't.
unless you do it yourself, let's say you can do, you're a carpenter, or you have a brother-in-law as a plumber, and he actually likes you. If you can get it wholesale, maybe you could break even. One more thing on that. Most sellers don't want to go through that. I was on a listing appointment not long ago. It was a luxury home in Naples. And the first agent went in there saying, well, okay, we need to do this. You need to do this. We need to change that, update that. We need to stage this. And it was like $200,000. Now, this was a multi-million-dollar home. that agent wanted to have them invest $200,000 to basically get their home ready to sell. And, you know, I couldn't find dust on top of the refrigerator. You think sellers want to do that?
No.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely not.
Have you ever seen the Office Depot commercial, easy button? The last point on this is this. I have had sellers, when a seller goes to update their house to sell it, do they have quality and fit and finish in mind? Or are they trying to do the job possible in order to make it palatable? I've had the sellers do that, and a buyer comes in, and they say, I can't believe they picked that stone. Like, don't they know granite's out of style? It looks cheap.
Mhm.
So there you go. Does that help you, Christine?
Yes,
And-
thank you very much.
Do
Denny,
you find that on NAR, the cost value report?
You can just Google it. Cost. If somebody finds it, just yell, you know, that you found it online. I can't really use my computer right now because I'm using the slideshow.
hey, Denny,
I just put it in the chat.
when you're having conversations like you and Christine just had, would it behoove the seller to be reminded of the market trends? Is time working in their favor or not in their favor when we're in a declining market?
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely, Louise. Good point.
Okay, next up is Parth. He requested a for sale by owner phone call. I don't know if we want to save that till the end. Or
We can do it. We can do it. Is that Parth?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Get your bull ride ready now. You guys remember this because I put in that same free package of stuff. Let's see if you can find them really quick. Put your camera, put your phone on record, not snapshot, because I'm going to go through these very fast. You'll get them recorded, or just go ahead and go to the QR code. Here's what's not to say, and then here are the top 5 bull ride conversations in rank order. Number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1. Did you get it? So, Parth, let's go.
All right, ring ring.
Hello,
Hi, is this the owner of 123 Main Street?
it is.
Hi, my name is Parth, and I had some questions about the property. Do you have a minute for some questions?
Okay.
All right, my first question is, are you working with buyer's agents, and are you willing to compensate them if they bring you a client?
Yes and yes.
Perfect. My second question is, after how long do you think you'll reach out to an agent if you haven't sold?
I didn't give it any thought. I've done this before, so I don't think that'll be a possibility.
Oh, that's great. That being said, it's a beautiful house. What has you selling?
We're moving to Toledo.
Oh, what's in Toledo?
We have family in the area and it's close to Cedar Point.
Oh, all right. How soon do you need to get to your family?
No hurry.
No hurry.
What's your name, Paul?
Parth.
Oh, all right, Hearth.
Yes. So, no hurry to get to Toledo.
Right.
Alright. So, oh wait, I think you froze. Hold on. Okay, so no hurry to get to Toledo. That being said, why haven't you hired an agent to sell your house yet? So then, yeah.
I've sold the house before, and I don't think I need an agent. But if you have a buyer.
I may happen to have a buyer, but at the moment, I couldn't tell you because I haven't seen the house from the inside. Would you mind if I came over to take a look for my buyer?
No, I'm having an open house on Sunday from 1 to 1:15.
All right, perfect. Also, I feel like I fell off the bull at this point,
Well,
like
you only
halfway through.
No, okay. So somebody give him some feedback.
I felt like you didn't match his tone.
Yeah.
Tempo that you had wasn't matching the tempo of the person you called.
Should I went faster, slower?
Well, what do you think? Was Denny talking at a faster rate than you or a slower rate than you?
She was giving very Jersey energy, so very short answers. Yeah, so probably faster.
Mhm.
But also, he did freeze halfway through, like on my screen. So I was like really confused for a second.
Even before that, though, he was answering faster.
Yeah.
New answers. Denny, in real life, would you have stayed on the call that long?
No, you know, your bull ride, which is the 15 seconds, you want to create kind of a pattern interrupt. And you kind of did that with, can I ask you some questions? But this is the number one. If you haven't seen it, I mean, I left it up here for a reason. Hi, this is Denny. Hi, Parth, this is Denny. Look, you're going to hate me. Yeah, look, you're going to hate me. I'm a realtor. Do you want to hang up now, or you give me 30 seconds to tell you why I'm calling?
Yeah.
And that is an example of a concise opening that creates curiosity with a pattern interrupt.
Hmm.
In fact, all 5 of those you get in that free little package have something like that. You had a similar one by saying, hey, can I ask you some questions or something like that? Did you notice your first question was 2 questions?
No, not until you said it.
Do you have your conversation written out in front of you?
Yeah, but it's a bit long. So I'm like, oh, I've got to shorten it.
Well, as you shorten it, as you internalize this and do it practice, like you would with the Rubik's Cube, rewrite it. Because you said, are you willing to, what did you say? Something like, it was 2 questions. Are you working with agents and are you willing to compensate me or whatever? And notice I answered 2, I said yes and yes.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't do that because they're not listening. All in all, it wasn't a bad bull ride. The thing that you have got to be careful of, if you're reading off one of the very common scripts, where you're moving, why do you want to be there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No, your second question was how long are you going to wait? It was pretty textbook. I mean, it's a very common conversation. It's a very common script. And what Louise was saying, probably you practice it some more to sound more conversational instead of robotic. If you're going to fire questions at me like I'm on trial or a job interview, you're going to have to sound a little bit more, use a little bit better tone. Toledo, oh, interesting. What takes you to Toledo? Okay. So, and then the last point is, most likely the people, the for sale by owner you're calling know why you're calling. So you're going to run out of time before you run out of questions. So get to the point.
All right, cool.
All right, Parth. Next, Louise.
I've been practicing this name all week. My Delise. My Delise.
My Delise, you got it. You got it.
My Delise. Expired. The expired seller has a rate, is locked in with the low rate, and they're concerned about the economy and make it a hard objection.
All right, Louise, your turn.
Okay, so now that we've gone through everything, are you ready to move forward?
My Delise, you sound fantastic, but there is no way I'm leaving this 3.5% interest rate.
You said 3.5. Okay. Okay, so other than the current interest rate that you have, is there any other reason why you wouldn't put the house on the market right now?
Well, I'm also very concerned about the economy.
Okay, so is there anything else aside from those 2?
No, those are my 2 reasons for being reluctant to sign with you today.
Great. So which of those 2 would you like to address first?
The rate lock.
Okay. Okay. So remind me, why were you thinking of selling in the first place?
Oh, because we have 8 kids and a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house.
That's right. That's right. So what I'm hearing is getting more room for your family so that you're all comfortable. It's a priority.
Is that what you heard?
I didn't use any of the words.
What did you hear?
I hear that she has a lot of kids and they're all crammed in one house, one
so
space.
You basically said something that might be similar. So here's the human side of me. And if you can't tell, I like to have pull some zingers every now and then and make people smile and laugh. Oh my gosh, I can see the line in the bathroom already. Right?
Yeah.
All right,
Uh-huh.
keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just crammed. We're crammed in here, mightily.
Okay. I'm trying to not tell, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking, what's some questions I can ask her to help her see that
What if you go to the bases?
the base, oh, the triangle thing, the diamond.
Yeah.
It's a baseball diamond. You're probably a soccer fan.
I am. Okay. Okay, so I asked her about the motivation, right? And then, okay, so how would it feel if you continue making lines every single day to use the restroom? Something like that.
Which
Well,
one?
if
Which
you
one
look
did
in
you
the
want to
chat,
address? Which
that
one
help?
did you address first?
The rate lock.
The rate.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about rate. What are the rules, Louise? You can answer. What are the rules when someone mentions rate? There's a couple of rules. Who remembers? When they mention rate, you got to get to a number. And when you get to a number, you've got to get the delta. Think airline. Who put that in there? Louise, cheater, pants on fire. All right, you got to get to a number. So,
Okay.
You're concerned about your interest rate, right, Louise?
3.5% is beautiful, a beautiful rate.
Right, okay. And what are rates now?
They're like 6.5%.
Okay. And have you looked at houses, the bigger houses you want to move into?
Yes, every day I drive by them.
And I'm curious, do you have to sell this one to buy that one?
We could rent this one. I think we would just be more comfortable if we sold it and then applied the proceeds into the new house.
So I understand the numbers look 3.5 to 6.5. Do you know what the difference in the monthly investment would be? Notice I didn't say the P word. What's the P word?
Payment.
I didn't say payment. Nobody likes payments, but people like investment.
Well, I would imagine since it's almost double the rate, it would be almost double the price.
Well, all right, so what I'm suggesting here is, and I can tell you who's got a financial calculator on your phone. You don't need a mortgage broker for this. Here's my trusty HP 12C. And so I'm just gonna go 500,000 for the GI, whoops, no, I'm sorry. 500. Present value, 3.5 GI 30 GN payment is 2245. 6.5 GI payment is 316. 3,160. 2245 minus 30 divided by. Somebody want to take a wild guess what the difference is? Now they like the Von Trapp family in a 2-bedroom home. Okay, you've seen The Sound of Music, and they want a bigger home. What is the difference? These people, and it's very common, they're balled up over the interest rate. What's the difference? Anybody figure it out?
Tell us, Denny, what's the delta?
That's delta, right? You got to figure out. All right, so it's $30 a day.
900 a month? So for about $1,000 more, we can be comfortable in a bigger house?
So my question is we can wait for the rates to come down. And here's the other thing, by the way. Here's the other thing I should have done. They're at 3.5. How many people on this call will be alive the next time you see 3.5? Oh, you
No,
won't, Kathy.
I won't.
You will not.
Hope so.
I'll tell you what, I made a mistake. I used 3.5. That's not realistic. Go to a realistic interest rate. So I'm going to go to 5.9. And that's 29.65 less 31.60.
What math are you doing, Danny? Like, what are you trying to calculate?
Calculating the monthly payment between the two interest rates.
Yeah. It's $194 a month, guys. 30 divided by, it's $6.50 a day. So tomorrow, and so if I'm assuming that you would probably move at 5.9, and that may be a 6 months or a year. So my question,
If we can do that, I'm ready to, that takes care of I have no concerns about the interest rate.
yeah, I got that, but I want these guys to hear it. Listen, when next time you see that line at the bathroom door on Sunday morning as you're getting ready to go to Bible school, I want you to say, would you pay $6.50 to make it go away?
Absolutely.
Y'all follow me on that, you guys?
Yes.
So apart from breaking it down, the numbers, what is the other rule regarding interest rates?
Interest rate, you've got to get to a number.
Okay.
All right. She said 3.5. Does she know what it is now? And then you got to do what the delta. What's the difference? I don't predict the future, guys. However, my 40 years of real estate, and we'll close with some ahas, and you can tell me what you learned today. I think when we had those super low interest rates, that was kind of like to have Haley's comment. The Giants winning the Super Bowl and you winning the lottery all on the same day. I mean, it was a perfect storm. We're not going to see that again. So a seller is not going to go back to 3.5. So what I did was I used 5.9. I think most buyers that are waiting for interest rates, if it got below 6, I think buyers would step into the market. So I compared the 5.9 to the 6.5, what it is today. And I converted monthly payments. I have 2 payments. One's $2,900, one's $3,100. Subtract the 2, that's the delta. That's the difference. That's what's keeping that family, the Von Trapp family, in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house that goes through more toilet paper than anything.
And you went with 5.9, not 3.5, because it's more realistic.
Yeah, they're never going to see 3.5 again.
But they already have it though.
They have it, yes. And they also have a line in the bathroom door every morning.
Okay.
So what did you guys hear? You know, I mean,
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
do you have any feedback for me? Would you like this good, bad, or different? How could I make this program more exciting for you, more beneficial? Remember, here's my email, coachdannygrimes@gmail. And if you want to talk about potential conversational coaching, send me an email and we'll talk about it. We'll just get more information. I'd have you get maybe 3 or 4 together and it would be very affordable. And I think we could drill down more and we'd still have the master, but this would be a little one-on-one type instruction.